everybody. So I'm going to take some time in this video to explain what you need to do to complete the peer review assignment for this week. It's really not as difficult as it might seem at first, but I know at first it can seem tricky. So I want to make sure everyone understands exactly how this is going to work, right? So first thing you'll see in the instructions are a few reminders. So the first thing is your grade for this assignment comes from your answers on the peer review worksheet, meaning the feedback you give your peer. You are going to fill out a peer review worksheet when you read your peer's paper. You're going to fill that worksheet out and submit it in the peer review assignment spot. That is where your grade comes from, right? There is no guarantee that you will receive a draft to review. Unfortunately, people fall behind, right? There's no guarantee that everybody is going to have their rough draft on time. So if you haven't received one by Tuesday of week 7, let me know and I will contact the student whose draft you are supposed to review, find out where they're at in the process, and we will go from there. I promise you, you will not lose points if your assigned peer does not send you their draft, okay? There's no guarantee that you will receive feedback on your own draft. If you send your rough draft to the person on the list you're assigned to, they might not do the peer review for you. I hope they do. I hope everyone, sees this as a good opportunity, and I hope everyone tries to help each other out with this. But there's no guarantee. So you might send your draft to your assigned peer, and they may not do the peer review. However, you will be getting my feedback, okay? So you will not be going into the final draft blind. You will receive feedback from me, okay? So, how is this all going to work? All right, you'll see the instructions. Step 1 says to watch this video, so hopefully that means you have. Step 2, under the video is an alphabetical list of everyone in the class. Find your name on the list. Then, go to the person listed directly under your name. You will send your essay to that student at the email address next to their name. Right? Find your name, go to the person listed directly underneath you, and email your draft to that person. If you are the last student on the list, you will send your draft to the first person on the list. Okay? Once you have sent them your draft, you are finished with that step. That student will then hopefully receive your draft and complete the peer review, and they will submit the peer review worksheet, in the assignment spot, and then I will get that feedback to you. So let's say Susie sends her draft to Johnny. Johnny fills out the peer review worksheet and submits it in his assignment spot for the peer review assignment. I will then take that worksheet that he filled out and send it to Susie so that she sees his feedback. Got it? Okay. You will receive an essay, or you should receive an essay from the student directly above your name, right? They're sending theirs to you. All right? Once you receive your peer's essay, once they email it to you, then you can complete the peer review worksheet. If you do not receive an essay by Tuesday of week 7, let me know. We will figure out if it was that that person wasn't ready to send one, they don't have their draft ready. If maybe they thought they sent it, but somehow it didn't make it to you, whatever the case may be, we'll figure it out. Okay? So be on the lookout. If you don't get one, let me know. When you do get an email from your peer with their draft attached, you will complete the peer review. You're going to download the instructions, the worksheet that I've attached in the instruction area. You're going to save it to your device. Then you're going to fill in your answers. Then you're going to save it again. And then you're going to upload it into the peer review assignment spot. Okay? You can type your answers into a different document or in a different format if you need to. Right? Just make sure that you number everything accordingly. Right? Because there's several parts to the peer review, and each part has several questions. So if you are typing it up on your own in some way, make sure that you are labeling part 1, question 2, question 3, whatever the case may be. Okay? Alright. So, again, the file that you submit on Brightspace in the peer review assignment spot is the worksheet that you filled out for your peer, for your classmate, when you read their paper. That's where your points for this assignment come from. You get a grade for doing the peer review. You don't get a grade just for sending your draft to the person on the list you're assigned to. The grade comes from actually completing and submitting the peer review on your assigned classmate's essay. Okay? Alright. Go to the list, find your name, send your draft to the person directly underneath you. If you're the last person on the list, send your draft to the person at the top. Be on the lookout for a draft in your email from one of your classmates. When you receive their draft in your email, you can come to the peer review worksheet, download it, fill it out as you read their draft, upload it, and that's how you'll get your grade. If you don't have a draft sent to you by midway through the week, contact me so we can see what the problem is. Again, you will not be penalized if you do not receive a draft to review. But I will be checking in with everyone throughout the week and making sure that, if Susie says, yeah, I sent my draft to Johnny, and Johnny says, no, I didn't get a draft from Susie, I will get involved, right? And then I'll make sure that Johnny gets Susie's draft, okay? But hopefully everything works smoothly, and you guys can just do this amongst yourselves, and I'll be waiting to see the peer review worksheets that you submit. And then I will give you a grade for the one you filled out and send it to the person whose draft you read. Okay? Now, real quick, I'm not going to go over all the questions in detail on the peer review worksheet, but just be warned, it's comprehensive. Okay? There's a lot to look at. Part 1 is just some general comments that you'll make after you have read through the draft the first time. Part 2 is all about APA format. So even though there's 6 questions there, it's all very, is there a title page? Is the running head right? Does it have the abstract? So just very quick looking at all of the elements that APA requires. Part 3 is looking at the introduction and thesis statement. Right? So there's 4 questions to answer there. Part 4 is about content and organization. So we're looking at, are the main points arranged logically? Do we have transitional topic sentence? Have they explained all of their ideas thoroughly? If they, when they refer to a source, do they explain how the source, backs up their point. Part 5 is actually about how they integrate their sources. So, did they do it smoothly? Is there a proper citation? That sort of thing. Part 6 is about the conclusion. A couple questions there. Part 7 are just some general overall considerations, right? And then part 3 is about Part 8 is about the references page. So again, just looking at some very detailed sections there. Is the word references centered? Is it double spaced? So some pretty easy to answer questions about the references page. What you'll notice that might be missing from this that you might have expected is there is no, section, there's no part asking you to look for sentence errors. There is no part asking you to look for spelling mistakes or to look for fragments or run-ons or any of that stuff. We are not worried about that right now. That is something that the author will need to do before they submit their final draft. There is not much sense in spending a lot of time looking for those small errors right now when there is too good of a chance that portions of the essay will change once they receive feedback on it. There's also already quite a bit to go through. I did not want to add proofreading onto this list. Okay? Now, if you happen to notice as you're reading that your classmate tends to have a lot of run-on sentences or a lot of sentence fragments, you can make a note of that. You can do that up when you answer question number 1 under general comments, right? But you don't have to go through and mark all of it, okay? Alright, so that's the peer review. Do your best. Give yourself time for this. And try to be helpful to the person whose paper you're reading. And have confidence that you can tell what parts are good and what parts need work. You can do this, okay? So, just remember everything that I've shared in this. If you have questions, please reach out to me right away, okay? I'll be checking in with you guys throughout the week and see how it's going. Alright.